Hey guys, welcome back to my next art book preview video. This week we have the Art of Hearthstone Volume 5. So this one is Year of the Dragon. So a quick look at the front and back there. These scales, by the way, are, I think it's called embossed. But you know what I mean, they've got texture to it, so that's really cool. So let's take a look inside. So straight away we've got this kind of cool dragon theme going on throughout for this one, obviously being Year of the Dragon. Apologies by the way that my lighting might fluctuate a little bit on this video just because it's quite a sunny day and it's always a bit hit and miss on the camera. So hopefully you guys can see this well enough. It's quite difficult to fit these Art of Hearthstone books on camera just because they're so big. So feel free to pause the video here if you want to read through the contents. Aside from that, let's get straight into it. I know that with the other books in the series, especially at the beginning and maybe the end of the book, they had quite a lot of art that was like more the design work of, cards, because it is the Art of Hearthstone. I believe it's a card game, not that I know much about the actual game. But it had things like, the design on the back of the card, so the Hearthstone logo, in a very sort of Blizzard style, blocky art style that I really love. So I'm not sure whether to expect the same in this one or not. It also had things, as well as the logos and backing designs for the card. They also had a lot of things like what I assume was the board that you play the game on, like a backdrop kind of thing. So like this, for example. So there's definitely some of this throughout, different themed for each book. But I think these books really shine the most with the character art and the character design, the creatures. I know a lot of the creatures are of course quite well known, races from World of Warcraft, because this is Blizzard Entertainment, so there's obviously going to be a big overlap with the characters. I don't play the game, so I don't know if any of the creatures are designed specifically just for Hearthstone. Also, there's a few pages throughout each of the books where you've got this sort of tracing paper design over the final render so that you can see the sketch and things like that. It's quite nice to see these without colour though. I'm quite a big fan of black and white work, especially when it's nice line art like that. But yeah, these books really shine for their full polished, their fully rendered illustrations or paintings. Now, all of these books do have a theme. So as mentioned, this one is Year of the Dragon. Conveniently, we've got dragons here. So that will be the main basis of this book. But you will notice, no matter which of these books you go for, they're all absolutely full of, these sort of the same theme of fantasy genre. So it's not like, by getting the one of dragons in, you're not only going to get dragons. As you can probably tell, you're getting all the different factions, the different creatures, different races, humans. Really cool designs as well. As mentioned already, I'm a big fan of the art of Blizzard, or the style that I call like the World of Warcraft style, this sort of blocky, exaggerated, bulky armour, over the top weapons and things like that. Or at least that's how I describe them. So I always think that's really cool. Some of the designs are just awesome. But yeah, this is book 5 in the series. Book 1 doesn't have a creature theme to it. It's just the Art of Hearthstone. Let me see if I've got that one here. So this one here is book 1, the one that's got like a brown leather effect to it. And then book 2, I think, was called something like the Year of the Kraken. Book 3, maybe Year of the Mammoth. And book 4, Year of the Raven. I could be confusing the orders there. I do have videos on all of those, so if you guys have been watching my other videos, you'll know this is the last one that I needed, Year of the Dragon. I've been actually really excited to get this because I find all of these books absolutely awesome. I just find them really inspiring as an artist that wants to get into, the fantasy genre. And a quick word about the page count of these. So this one is just short of 250 pages. And I mention that because the other books I've got, the Art of Hearthstone books, are also 250 pages, apart from one of them, which I believe is this one here, Volume 2. I think off the top of my head that might be the Year of the Kraken one. But that one for some reason is only about 150 pages. So I'm not sure why. But in terms of value for money, a lot of places sell them all the same price. So there's an extra 100 pages in the others in comparison. Just something to bear in mind. I'm not really sure why though. And another thing that I wanted to mention when buying this book, I kept finding on websites they had 2 versions of Year of the Dragon listed. And I couldn't figure out why, but for some reason this one was cheaper. And it did have a different ISBN code to the other. So I'm in the UK and I'm not sure if one is maybe printed in the UK, so it's got a different ISBN code and such, or whether it's just a mistake. But this one actually was a little bit cheaper out of the 2 listings for some reason. I will put links to where you can buy it from in the description box below, as always, of course. And I'll put links to the other videos as well if you want to check those out. But yeah, I took a bit of a gamble because sometimes the listing for this one that's got this ISBN code is listed as only having like 144, 150 pages or something. But I took a gamble because I had a feeling it was a mistake. So, you know, if you're in the same boat, rest assured that the Year of the Dragon book, Volume 5, does seem to have 250 pages. So I don't think there is two versions, or at least not that one of them is going to be missing 100 pages, which is kind of my biggest worry. But yeah, as mentioned, I've got book videos for all of these. So the blue one is Year of the Mammoth, and I believe this green one is Year of the Raven. Again, links to those will be in the description box below. They are definitely worth checking out. I think between this one, the Year of the Dragon, and Year of the Mammoth is one of my favourite. So Year of the Mammoth has quite a lot of dinosaur designs in it, so really cool. It also has quite a few dragon designs from memory. But I think if you come across any of these books at a good price, you know, if you like this style of artwork, or you're a fan of the game, or maybe even any Blizzard game, I think, you know, any of them are winners. They're really nice books. As you guys know, I'm a bit of an addict when it comes to collecting art books, so I really wanted all 5 of these. But hopefully this helps you guys if you will trying to find a bit of a preview of the book, because I couldn't find one for some of the books in this series. And in case you couldn't tell, it's a complete mix of artists throughout. There's normally like a handful that are featured and spread throughout the book. It does give them credit throughout, but I just haven't been sort of stopping to read it properly because I don't want this video to be too long. And one last thing to know, I mentioned this in all the other videos as well, but once I started collecting these, like, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, maybe even longer, I found a post on Reddit and a few other places where people were discussing the release of the next book, which supposedly might be the Art of Hearthstone Year of the Phoenix. Again, if you play the game, that might mean more to you than it does to me. But still at this point of me recording this, I haven't found any sign of that, any proof of anything in production, so I'm hopeful that there is going to be another one, but it does seem to have been a little while. But fingers crossed there's another one in the works. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. And that's it, so thank you for watching.